welcome back to another video. Lighting in here is kind of weird, but I'm in a new place. I just got married, and so in today's video I want to talk to you guys about how I slimmed down for my wedding. I didn't really necessarily need to, like, for my general life, but I bought my wedding dress at David's Bridal. It was only $149 and it fit almost perfectly. It was just tight in a little bit of the area. So I thought, you know what? I haven't dieted in forever. I can just slim down a little bit instead of getting massive alterations. And so that's what I did. And a lot of people were asking me like, oh my gosh, what did you do? And so I thought I would share in this video what I did for my wedding, shedding for the wedding. All right, so the first thing I did, which most people would not probably think of conventionally, is I reduced my stress level. And the way that I did that is, number one, I pretty much eliminated all intense exercise. Yes, I know that sounds counterintuitive. You would think that you would just like push through it or something, but I eliminated intense exercise. So what I did instead is I walked on an incline almost every single day. Because it's incline walking, it's also strength building, but it's not intense. And so when you're doing intense exercise, you often have this like bloaty look because your body is not recovering and it's stressed from the workout. Whereas walking is parasympathetic, which means that your body actually looks at it as relaxation instead of, stress. And so it actually reduces cortisol. And when you reduce cortisol, your body releases extra water, your hormones balance, and therefore you lose fat. So I am a huge fan of incline walking. I incline walk every other day and I just like enjoy it. And it feels really good. And my sweat, and then so I'm telling a little bit here, but like it feels a little bit hypnotic on the treadmill because of the sound when you're walking. Anyway, love it. It's good for my brain. It's good for it feels like meditation almost. And so that was the first thing I did, is I reduced my stress in my body by doing that. And then I took ashwagandha and I drank like hormone balancing teas and just really tried to relax my body as much as possible. That's number one. So reducing stress. If you're doing intense exercise, it's counterintuitive. I know. Do not do that. I would say to reduce that and incorporate incline walking. I walked for about like 30 to 45 minutes. It didn't even take much because I would do like 15 minutes 15 incline and then level like 3 or 3.5 speed. And it also works at 10 you get more of like, I think, a hamstring and glute push. So anyway, I did that. The second thing I did was I was really conscious of my blood sugars. So on an average day, you guys know I kind of live my life as like, oh, generally I want to be healthy. So I eat whole fruits and vegetables. I eat lots of healthy protein and things like that. But instead, I upped my protein significantly, increased my protein, and then I made sure that whenever I was snacking, it was a lower carb snack. And that's so that my blood sugar didn't keep going like this. And that alone, I noticed a difference just in my mood, but also in just my body. So that's something that I've kind of continued to do because I realized that I was kind of getting out of control. I'd just be like snacking on fruit snacks or whatever I was giving to my athletes, or I'd just be pulling, and there's nothing wrong with that per se, but when you really want to fine tune your body, not necessarily for performance, because when I'm thinking about performing, I'm thinking about performing. I'm not, in terms of like athletically. So I don't really care what my body looks like necessarily. But when I was like, okay, now I gotta like think like a bodybuilder again, right? So I was lowering my blood sugar. And so this is a really good tip anyway, in general, if you find yourself being like, oh, I kind of don't like my body's starting to like spread out a little bit, you can totally just start to track your blood sugar in the sense of, am I taking in like sugars every couple hours? Or, can I choose something like I would just do a tablespoon of peanut butter, or I would grab a handful of nuts, or I'd grab some beef jerky and do my little chopsticks instead. And that was a game changer for me. The third thing I did was I made sure I got sleep. I actually was having so much trouble sleeping in the middle of the night because my cortisol was so high. And so taking the ashwagandha helped with that. So I had to look at research, like, oh my gosh, what's going on? I was waking up at 2 or 3 in the morning and every day. And so I looked into it and I started to, you know, talk to some doctors, and I'm like, okay, my cortisol's super high. So the other things that I'm helping, you know, that I'm doing is helping with that. But I also took my magnesium every night and went to bed early. Like when I felt tired, I was like, go to bed. Because oftentimes I would be like, oh, I'll just push through it, or I have things to do for the wedding. And no, I just let myself go to sleep when I was tired. And if I felt sleepy throughout the day, I recognized that everybody cannot do this. I would take a nap. I would just take a nap as much as possible and allow my body to rest. As you notice, like there's a lot of resting in here. I did do strength training, but the only strength training I did was really, I did like TRX. So I would do body weight stuff. I'm someone whose body puts on a lot of muscle very quickly. So body weight stuff was super helpful. So I would do like a TRX routine. Now, if you're interested in coaching for slimming down, you're worried about, you know, you're like, hey, I'm kind of spreading out here, I don't know what's going on, you can send me a message on Instagram. I'm at Joanna Joy _ JoAnnaJoi _ on Instagram, or type me a message, leave a message in the comments, say I'm ready to change, and I will get back to you with how we can set up a call so I can help you also just shed the weight naturally. There's nothing extreme that we're doing right now, unless you're eating a lot of junk food. We will have to do some extreme things, but there are some small changes that you can make that can make a big difference in your life. So I know a lot of you guys were asking about that, so I just wanted to give you guys that little update on how I slimmed down for my wedding, and I will get back to you guys a little later. All right, bye.